Hi my dear children, I hope you're all fine and doing well. Well, in my last chapters, in my last classes, I have already given you about, I have to teach you about all the chapters that are included in your syllabus. One chapter was left, that is the reproduction in animal. Today we will start. So before starting this chapter, we must know something. So we know that for life, we have to perform in life, we are performing a number of physiological functioning, means the life sustaining processes. These processes includes what? These processes include respiration, digestion, locomotion too, and one of the most important, see, respiration. Why respiration is important? Because respiration is important for breathing. Okay, because of respiration we can respire oxygen, and without oxygen we cannot live. So respiration is very important process. And digestion. Why digestion is important? Because digestion is the process through which we can intake the food, and from food we get our nutrition. So without digestion, we are not able to get our nutrition. Why locomotion? Because locomotion, we locomote from one place to another place because of in need of shelter, in need of food, and number of other performing activities too. For locomotion is also important. Then we also need reproduction. This is very important. This reproduction. Why reproduction is important? Because without reproduction we cannot extend our progeny. That is for extension of progeny. So why reproduction is important? Because of the extension of progeny. So if there is no extension of progeny, then there will be no population in terms of human population, plant population, or any kind of population. So reproduction is vital. Without reproduction, the progeny cannot be extended. That means without reproduction, the life cannot be sustained. So reproduction is very important. So today I will focus on reproduction in animals. So let us start this chapter. This chapter is in class 8, chapter number 9. So we will start reproduction in animals. This is very important. Reproduction in animals. In one word, if I want to say what is reproduction? Reproduction is increasing the number of the individual. Reproduction means increase the number. Okay, increasing the number. Now in this case, in plant we have seen that plant reproduces. In our earlier chapters we have already finished about the reproduction in plants. In plant reproduction we have seen that plant reproduces either vegetative or sexual reproduction. We have already learned vegetative reproduction, sexual reproduction, and there is also one more mode. It is called asexual reproduction. In case of vegetative reproduction, what we know that in case of vegetative reproduction, we know that any part of the body from plant, they got touched and ultimately they propagate into a complete plant. So this is when the part of the body take part in increasing the number of the progeny, and it is called vegetative reproduction. Now in case of sexual reproduction, we have elaborated the sexual reproduction. In case of sexual reproduction, we need gametes. So in case of sexual reproduction, what we need? We need gametes. The gametes are of two kinds. We know that the gametes are of two kinds. What are the gametes? The gametes are male and female gametes. There are two kinds of gamete, the male gamete and the female gamete. Okay, the male gamete, they produced from where? The male gametes, they produce from where? The male sex organ. Similarly, the female gametes, they produce from where? They produce from female sex organ. So in case of sexual reproduction, there is involvement of sex organs. So in case of sexual reproduction, there is involvement of sex organs, the male sex organ and the female sex organ. This is very important. So that is sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction is what? In case of asexual reproduction, only one parent is involved. In case of asexual reproduction, only one parent is involved. We will discuss about the asexual reproduction in a later part of our chapter. In case of plant, as the today's chapter is chapter 9, and today we are discussing the reproduction in animals. In case of reproduction in animals, the vegetative reproduction is completely not found. What is the reason? See, some of you might be opt for science, higher studies like in class 12, 11, 12, or maybe opt for the MBBS degree or other degrees. So those who are thinking to option for biology in the higher studies or making career in biology, they must focus biology very properly and minutely from now only, or 6, 7, 8 only, because these classes are your basic level classes. So you must know all the things. Okay, now why in case of vegetative reproduction is observed not in the animals? Because in case of plant, the cells, the cells, they mature. When they mature, they lose their ability to cell division. That time they are called permanent cells. In our body, we have number of permanent cells. Okay, these permanent cells, they are not able to divide. So they do not take part in cell division in the animal cell. But in case of plant, the mature cells, they can again revert back to the dividing cell, divisional condition of the cell, that is the meristematic phase. When these permanent cells, in case of plant, these permanent cells, as they again revert back to the meristematic cell, this meristematic cell again follows the normal route of cell division and cell growth, they again become mature. But in case of, that's why they do participate in the vegetative reproduction. But in case of animals, the mature cells or the cells, they do not revert back to their initial immature phase. So they do not revert back to the meristematic phase, animal cells. That is the reason why the animal cell, in case of animal, the vegetative reproduction is not found. So we can say that in case of animal, this vegetative reproduction is completely not observed. So we will focus on the sexual reproduction and the asexual reproduction. Okay. So let me start from the sexual reproduction. In case of animals, as I told earlier, in case of sexual reproduction, there is involvement of male sex organ and the what is more is involved is female sex organ. In case of the sexual reproduction, the male sex organ and the female sex organs are involved. The male sex organ, they produce what? The male gametes. The male gametes are known as the sperms. In the female sex organ, they also do produce the female gametes. The female gametes are known as the ovum. If you have any question or query or confusion, you may call me on the number given on the screen. Okay. Now let me start each of them, the male sex organ and the female sex organ. The male sex organ, in case of a human, it consists of the male sex organ. In case of human, it consists of what? Testes. Then it has sperm duct, and it has what? Testis, sperm duct, and one more, it has a penis, the male sex organ. These are the three things that the male sex organ to contain. The testes, they produce what? They produce sperms. Okay, the sperms are the what? The sperms are the male gametes. In your chapter, in case of Bengali, the page number 95, it contains the picture. You can observe this is very beautiful picture, and you can have an idea so about the male sex organ. Now the sperms are very important. The sperms have three different parts. Let me draw. This is the sperm. This is the diagrammatic representation of the sperm. The sperm had three parts: the head, neck, and the tail. Okay. Though the sperm is a single cell, but this single cell do contain all the features of a human body. What we know that in case of human body, we have, in case of males, what is the chromosome pattern? We have already teach in chapter adolescence chapter. We have already finished these things. Okay. What we know that in case of male, the chromosome number is what? The chromosome number is 46. Out of 46, there are 44 autosomes and 1 X and 1 Y chromosome. We can say that is 22 plus X is a one gamete, and 22 plus Y is another gamete. Because why? Because in case of sexual reproduction, the cell divides through meiosis. Meiosis is a process of what? Meiosis is also known as the reduction division. Why reduction division? Because the 46, that is the 44 plus AA plus XY, it divides. So see 44, if I divide 44, what will be? It will be 22 and 22. And if I divide X and Y, it will be 1X and 1Y. So this gamete, it contains either 22 plus X or 22 plus Y chromosome. That these male sperm contain the features of the human body, all the features of a male person, of that particular male person, plus one sex chromosome. It may be X chromosome or it may be Y chromosome. Clear? Now this is the head and this is the neck. This neck, it provides the energy. Because why? Because the neck contains mitochondria. We had already know that the mitochondria is known as the powerhouse of the cell. The mitochondria, it provides the energy, and the tail, through tail it can swim. Okay, we will know how it swims and where it swims. Okay, so this is the male sex organ. So I am erasing this part. Now the female sex organ. In case of female sex organ, it consists of ovary, oviduct, ovary and oviduct. It is the ovary, oviduct, and it is the uterus. This is the three parts that the female sex organ. Okay, in every female, after a particular period, from the ovary, one ovum is produced, and this ovum is generally released. Okay, at a particular time of the month. We know all these things. We have already learned in the adolescence period chapter, and that is called what? That is called menstruation cycle. In case of the female, this ovary is produce ovum, and the ovum is released after a particular date. This is the 28 number date of the month. Okay, and on the oviduct is the place where it released. Okay, and the uterus is the place where the baby grows. We will learn all these things just right now. So in case of the ovum, in case of female, what do you know? The chromosome pattern like similarly 46, but it has 44 autosome and XX chromosome, that is the sex chromosome. So in the case of the gametes are what? The gametes will be 22A plus X or 22 plus X. So in case of females, both the gametes are same, 22 plus A or 22 plus X, 22 plus X or 22 plus X. So the ovum, this is also a single cell. Okay, but the nucleus contains the features of the particular woman, of that particular individual woman. Clear? Now, so we have learned about the male sex organ and how the male gametes, what is the nature of the male gamete, the female sex organ, and nature of the female gamete. So I guess this part about the gamete formation is clear. There is no confusion. If there is still any kind of confusion or query, you may call me on the screen number. So that is the formation of the gamete. Because what we know, that in case of sexual reproduction, there is the involvement of two sex organs, and these sex organs, they produces the gametes. The gametes are the male gametes and the female gametes. Clear? Now, the gametes, the male gamete and the female gamete. Okay, the male gamete fertilizes the female gamete. The male, actually, the process of, now this is called fertilization. What is fertilization? We can say that the process of the union of, what is fertilization? Let me write, the union of male gamete and the female gamete is known as the fertilization. Okay, so we may think that what is the male gamete? What is the nature of the male gamete? We already write 22 plus X is one male gamete, or 22 plus Y another male gamete. Okay, let me draw with a chat box. (22 plus A plus X, 22 plus so this is the male gamete and this is the female gamete. You already know 22 plus A plus X, one male gamete, and here will be what? 22 plus A X, or you can say, because in case of female, both the male gametes are same, 22 plus X, A and X. So if this male gamete fuses with this male gamete, what will be the result? 44 A plus X X. So this is the female offspring. And if this male gamete, fertilizes or united with this female gamete, what will be the result? 44 plus AA plus XY, that is the equal male offspring. Clear? So what is fertilization? Fertilization is the process of union of the male gamete and the female gamete. Clear? That is the fertilization. Now after fertilization, this cell, so what we have seen, now let me draw a ovum, that is the egg, okay, nucleus, this is one egg, okay, from the eggs are released, the eggs are released from the ovum, ovary from the egg is released. Now the sperm, number of sperms came here. Out of there are millions of sperms, they are released by a male person. Out of the million of sperms, only one sperm are able to get fused with the female egg. Of this one sperm, it fertilizes the female ovum. So this is a nucleus, one nucleus, this is one more nucleus. After, so this is the fertilization. After fertilization, what will happen? There are two nucleus. One nucleus belongs from the male parent, that is the male gamete, and one nucleus from the female parent, that is the female gamete nucleus. They become united to form a one nucleus. That is to see 44 plus XX or 44 XY maybe. What other thing? So this is known as the zygote. So what is the result of fertilization? Because of fertilization, the zygote is formed. So what is the result of fertilization? There may be question. Because of fertilization, zygote is formed. Clear? Now the next stage. So we can see that in case of males, in case of human beings, the fertilization takes place within the body, human body. In case of humans, the fertilization takes place within the human body. So this kind of fertilization is known as the internal fertilization. As in this case, the male sperm fertilizes the female male sperm, or the male gamete fertilizes the female gamete or the female ovum within the body. So this is called the internal fertilization. Clear? But there are number of cases where the fertilization takes place outside the body. That is called the external fertilization. Now let me clarify the external fertilization. During the rainy season, the frogs, the female frogs and the male frogs, they come in the water. Okay, the female frogs, they laid huge number of eggs. The female frogs, they releases huge number of eggs. In case of frog, these eggs are not coated with a shell, as in the case of hen. We can see the eggs are coated with the shell, okay, the hard shell we have to break before we want to make an egg omelet or whatever the thing, because we need to break it, the hard shell. But in case of frog, the egg they released are not coated with any kind of hard shell, but they are covered with a very thin, delicate, jelly-like substances. These, at the same moment, this is released by the female frogs. Similarly, at that moment, a huge number of sperms are released by the male frog. These sperms, they swim in the water, and after swimming, they come in contact with the egg and they fertilizes the egg. This process is called, so in case of, so the fertilization, see, the eggs are also released in the aquatic medium in the environment. The sperms are also released in the aquatic medium in the environment, and the fertilization takes place also in the aquatic medium in the environment. So this is a external fertilization. So in case of frog or any kind of, or mostly in the aquatic animals like frog, fish, the fertilization is the our external fertilization. But in case of humans, fertilization is what? If fertilization is internal in nature. Okay. Now the thing is that, as I told, that the zygote is formed. The zygote is then divided repeatedly. The zygote divides repeatedly. As a result, the zygote become a ball-shaped structure. Okay, and this ball shape, actually, this is our ovary. This is the oviduct, and here is the ovary. The ovary get fertilized by get fertilized by the male sperm, and after traveling to the oviduct, ultimately the fertilized ovary zygote became a ball-shaped structure, and it implanted in the wall of the uterus. As I told, that this is known as the uterus. It implanted in the wall of the uterus. At this stage, after again further cell differentiation, this zygote become differentiate. See, there are two terms, that is the division and differentiation. What is division? Cell division means what? Cell division and cell differentiation. Cell division is what? Cell division is the increasing the number of cells. This is the cell division. And what is cell differentiation? When the cell differentiate into a particular shape, size, organ, this is called cell differentiation. The zygote, it become embryo. Why? How? This zygote, this is the zygote. This is a single cell structure. It has a two nucleus. This zygote, it comes into the structure of embryo. How? Because of the cell division, it increases the number, so it becomes embryo. Now this embryo undergoes cell differentiation. Because of the cell differentiation, this embryo now develop different organs. Like from this embryo, certain cells, they undergo to form brain. Certain cells, they perform the functioning, or they develop into hand. Certain cells, they develop into the heart. So that is called the each of these out of this embryo. Suppose this part differentiate or perform the functioning of brain, develop into brain. This part hand, this part leg, this part heart, and this other part the alimentary canal and the other organs of the body. So out of this whole cell mass, some of the portions, they are involved in a particular functioning, particular organ development. This is called cell differentiation. At this stage, it is known as the fetus. At this stage, it is known as the fetus. Okay. And this fetus, after complete development for near about 10 months, the fetus then the woman gives birth to a child. So in case of human, the complete development of the baby takes place within the mother itself. In case of human beings, the complete development of the baby takes place within the body of the mother only. This is called the viviparous. But in some other cases, the development takes place outside the body. This is called the oviparous. Okay, viviparous and oviparous. Like in case of hen, you will see that the shelter, the shell. What is the shell? Because the shell is a protective layering that covered it. When the hen, it lays the egg, it sit on the egg and it gives warmth on it. And after a particular, when outside the body, the egg, the embryo develops, then it hatches and the chicken come out of this egg. So this is the oviparous. So viviparous. So in case of human beings, the complete development of the baby takes place within the body itself. Okay. Now we have might heard of one thing generally sometimes called test tube baby. Test tube baby. What is test tube baby? Let me discuss. So let me draw once again the female reproductive organ. What we know? We know that the here is the ovary. The male sperms are released on here. If because of any reason the male sperms are not able to reach the female gamete, then the male sperm cannot fertilize the female gamete. Now what is the if the male sperm does not able to reach the female gamete just because of the reason of the any blockage in the oviduct, because of any blockage in the oviduct, suppose there is any blockage, because of this blockage the sperm cannot able to reach the egg. So in that case the sperm will not be able to fertilize the egg. So in these cases the male sperms of the particular individual are taken, and that ovum of that particular that is the egg of that particular woman are taken, the egg of individual. They are in a artificial condition, they are fertilized in the medium. After fertilization they form the fertilization in the artificial environmental medium. They generally gives rise to zygote. This zygote after a certain stage, that means when these zygotes are divides, after it divides or may from a certain stage, up to a certain stage, you will know all these things in your higher chapters. After a certain stage these zygotes are again implanted, that is the embryo, zygote. The embryo after fertilization they form zygote, from zygote they form embryo, and this embryo are implanted in the uterus, and after implantation this embryo complete the cycle of the baby development, because the reason was only the blockage in the oviduct, there was no other another reason. After the embryo formed there is no need of the sperm movement, so when the embryo is implanted in the uterus, the baby develops here and complete its the entire course of development, that is near about 280 days, and the woman then again gives birth to a healthy child in general cases. As in these cases the fertilization takes place outside the body, so it is called in vitro fertilization. Whenever the term in vitro comes, always remember in vitro means outside, artificial. outside an artificial medium. So in vitro fertilization means what? So in this case the fertilization takes place outside the human body in an artificial environmental condition. That is called, that's why in short form it is called IVF or test tube baby. Clear? Now one more thing, in case of, if you move to the any pond near the late summer when the winter is coming, you will find what? You will find that number of the tadpoles are swimming in the medium. Okay, the tadpoles, okay, they are swimming in the medium. The tadpoles then after certain days they become the late tadpole. The late tadpole, they become then the frog, and these frogs again lay eggs. Don't judge my drawing, I'm just helping you. So this is the tadpole, early tadpole, this is the late tadpole, the frog, and then the egg. The frog again release the egg, and this egg or sperms, okay, they release, the frog release, the male frog release the sperms and the female frog release the eggs, and after fertilization, external fertilization, they gives rise to the tadpole. After a certain period they goes to the late tadpole gives rise to the mature frog. So you can see that that in case of developmental phase there is no similarity of the their morphological similarity. They are like fish-like structures or like snake-like structures. They are swimming. Now they have no kind of tail and they mature. So this is called metamorphosis. In our life cycle, in case of human life cycle, when we are just kid, that time we have the same hand, same leg, everything we have the same. We just grow in terms of our physical growth. We exhibit physical growth, mental growth we exhibit, but we have not changed in shape. Okay, we just not in shape, we have just increase in our mass. Okay, our height increases, our intellectual development generally increased. Okay, our cell mass increased, but the complete morphological there is no complete irrational morphological development. So it is called metamorphosis. So in case of tadpole or frogs, we can see the metamorphosis. Similarly, probably you have remembered in case of silkworm, the metamorphosis was there from egg to larvae to pupa to cocoon, and then again the silk moth. Okay, in case of silk moth also we have seen the same fashion of the life cycle. This is called metamorphosis. What is metamorphosis? Metamorphosis is the process where there is a difference in the morphological features in their life phases. So what is metamorphosis? Metamorphosis is the process where there is a difference in the morphological features. Now we are moving to the, if there is any kind of phone or query, kindly call me. I will try my best to help you out. The numbers are already given in the screen. Now there is one more reproduction phase we have already told, that is the asexual reproduction. In case of asexual reproduction, what we told, in case of asexual reproduction, a single parentis involved. In case of asexual reproduction, a single parent is involved. Okay. Now we have remember of the yeast. What we remember in case of yeast, from the body a single outgrowth develops. This outgrowth was known as the bud. Then chain of outgrowth forms. And this chain of outgrowth, they start detaching from the parent body, and each of them after detaching, they gives rise to a entire new yeast body. So only one parent is involved. So this is called the budding. So this process was known as the budding. Similarly, in case of Hydra also, the tentacles of Hydra, the buds develop, and this bud on detachment from the parent body, they by growth detach from the parent body, and after detachment from the parent body, they by growth they develop into a complete new Hydra. So in case of Hydra, we are also seeing the same fashion of asexual reproduction, the budding and the bud after detachment from the body, they develop into a complete entire new Hydra. Similarly, in case of amoeba, this is the amoeba. In case of amoeba, the nucleus divides. Following the division of the nucleus, the cytoplasm also divides. And then ultimately two amoeba develop. Similarly, reproduction. What is the mean of reproduction? Use of reproduction to increase the number from 1 to 2. This is called the binary. Why binary? Binary means 2 and fission. Remember, not fusion. Fusion means here the breakdown. So amoeba, they are showing the binary fission. So this is all about this chapter. So in this chapter, we have learned that what we learned in this chapter that the animals, they do exhibit sexual reproduction. In case of sexual reproduction, also they do exhibit asexual reproduction too. In case of sexual reproduction in humans, the male sex organ and the female sex organs are involved. As we know, in sexual reproduction, the sex organs are involved. The male sex organ in case of human consists of the testes, the sperm duct, and the penis. The testis produces the sperms, and the sperms then through sperm duct to penis, it reaches to the oviduct. On the other hand, the sperm, it has three parts: the head, the neck, and the tail. The head provides the energy, and through the neck, because of the tail, it can swim. Clear? Similarly, in case of the female sex organ, it is consists of the ovary, the oviduct, and the uterus. From the ovary, the ovum or egg is produced, and these eggs are released on every month on a particular fashion way, that is already known, that is called menstruation cycle. We have already finished these things in our earlier chapters. Now the male, during reproduction, the male gamete, they fertilize the female gamete, and this process is called the fertilization. Because of fertilization, the zygote is developed. Okay, zygote is a single cell structure. The zygote, the single cell structure zygote, it divides and redivides to form the embryo. This embryo then planted in the uterus. At this stage, it is known as the fetus. Okay, and the fetus, after complete development and differentiation, gives birth to a child. In case of humans, the entire process of fertilization development takes place within the body. That's why it is called the internal fertilization. On contrary, animals like frog, fishes, the fertilization takes place outside the body. That was called the external fertilization. Clear? Now, in case of certain cases, we have already seen that if the oviduct, there is any kind of blockage in the oviduct, the sperm cannot fuse with the ovum. In that cases, generally the help of IVF is taken. Okay. Now there is one more mode, that is called the asexual reproduction. In case of asexual reproduction, there is only single parent is involved. Like in case of yeast, we have seen that there is a bud formation, and this bud, they got detached from the body, and after detachment this bud again developed to a entire new yeast individual. Similarly, Hydra, they also reproduces by budding. We have already finished. But in case of amoeba, there is a diffusion. This process is called the binary division. In case of amoeba, the nucleus divides, and following the nucleus division, the cell cytoplasm also divides, and ultimately two particular amoeba develops. Okay, produces. This is called the binary division. So this is all about today's chapter. I hope you people have understand. Still you have any kind of query or confusion, you may call me in the next time. Take proper precautions and study well your chapters. That's all about today. Thank you.